After several weeks of waiting around, watching all kinds of boring filler shows, from the lead up to the draft, to OTAs, to training camp, to preseason, and finally, here we are. Let's start Gavin.
The autumn winds move like the thunderous waves of Neptune's sacred palace. And here, amongst the blackened soil, lies the ragged hands, worn, torn, and callous. They await with cunning and vicious prowess, for the warriors have returned.
Come on, Dirt! Don't do it! Woo! No way! Woo! 85! Crying out loud! You're making me, you're driving me nuts!
But behold,
Welcome back, Gabbers. Thank you all so much for joining us on this inaugural edition of Gridiron Gab Pro Style. Of course, you're Gavin with the one and only Mr. CeeLo, and I know you guys have missed me since I've been gone, so just want to tell you guys what's up. Hope you guys are definitely out there paying attention. I know there are some of you out there that are paying attention. I know my buddy Brad is definitely out there checking me out. He's all over the place. My favorite gabber. Hope you're doing all right, my friend. My prayers are still with you and your family. Got a couple of comments that came up on my shorts. You guys have been paying attention. I'm definitely grateful for the comments that I have been getting. Keep them coming. Please keep them coming. I love the comments. I think they're truly awesome when they come through. Looking at the short that I did on Jerry Jones, I got to go in and look at what you guys gave me. Finally, my notifications are working. Brad commented, either that or he got tired of losing in Dallas and said, please trade me. Possibility. Smoky River 7757 commented, 2 first rounds? What if you end up with a Troy and an Emmitt Smith combo? Look, that's not gonna. I mean, even if that happens, to me, and listen, Smoky River, I'm gonna say it like this: do I think Dak is a bad quarterback? Stephen A. Smith is the perfect example of what can happen when you just say some stuff and people don't really analyze or research it. Dak Prescott's not the problem in Dallas. A lot of Dallas's problem is Jerry Jones, his decision making. I mean, I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Mina Kimes or whoever it was on ESPN that made the statement. They could have saved $99 million. So with that said, I don't feel sorry for Jerry Jones. I really don't. And then, of course, there's these so-called stories that are coming out about they had a verbal agreement and so on and so forth. You know, I don't believe anything Jerry Jones says. Jerry Jones is like certain people we know in this country. They lie through their dang teeth and expect us to believe it. And there are some people who do believe it, but that's another story for another day. But the truth of the matter is when you sit here and you look at what the Cowboys gave up, and then you got this game culminating in this game that we've got coming up here in a couple of days. Well, actually tomorrow. Well, actually tonight. So, Mario says he's one guy. He can't beat Detroit, not even in a Dallas uniform. Mario, I'm gonna say it like this. You're gonna get your chance twice. And I'm telling you right now, this ain't no headache you want. The worst thing that could have happened is that Green Bay went all in on this. Because whether you realize it or not, the two guys that he's going to be flipping places with, they had 7 sacks already. So now you put him out there. And then I heard, I don't remember who it was, that said flipping him around, not sitting there keeping him on one edge, but putting him lined up with y'all's guards. What? Mario, I think you better rethink that. because I don't think you're going to like those results. But here we are at the ready point for kickoff in the 2025 season. And, of course, I'm going to do two of these. Well, actually, I'm going to do two of these. I'm going to do the other tomorrow. Dallas against Philly. Now, Philly didn't need any more motivation, but there are a lot of people that are just, and I mean, even me, because I didn't think to do a show about who's going to beat them. So, in a sense, they could be feel disrespected because really they haven't gotten a lot of press time when you think about the move that they made at the end of training camp or near the end of preseason when they traded for John Mechie. And they still have arguably one of the best front threes in the league. I mean, you could argue you got guys like Smell Munden and Jihad Campbell, whom are not even starters. They're on the bench, guys. And then you got Aziz Ujulari.
God damn!
This football team is loaded. And then you got to remember, Nakobe Dean is not even playing. This is the nightmare. Not to mention you got Kelly Ringo and Andrew Makuba as backups. This defense is insanely strong. So, I get it. They're going to be playing into one of the strengths of the Dallas Cowboys. Really, the only strength, in my opinion. You can look down here and say, okay, Trayvon Diggs is playing tomorrow. Okay. I mean, who's on the other side of him? I mean, Kyer Elam. I mean, let's keep it in perspective. Has Elam lived up to expectations?
Is that your best?
And the reality of it is, if you really want to sit down and think long and hard, do you have the corners to afford to let a guy like Micah Parsons walk? I mean, I'm just being realistic. Any Cowboy fans watching this, you can be upset, you can joke, laugh, whatever. But that was your defense. And to people like Mario who think this is not a swing in momentum when it comes to the power structure, not only in the NFC, but the entire NFL, this shook the entire foundation of the National Football League. Everybody that's a contender has stood up and took notice and take notice. Because in reality, Detroit fans can say what they want, Mario. That was the move they should have made. Oh, yeah. That was the move they should have made. Now, keys to the game. The most important thing for the Dallas Cowboys on offense, first and foremost, they're going to have to protect Dak Prescott. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is going to be their option, number one, number two. He is going to have the ball out. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, they got Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders and Jaden Blue.
Stupid! What the
Stop it. This offensive line is going to have to play as well as it's ever going to play. There is no other way around it. They're going to have to protect and get some sense of a run game. Now, on the surface, you look at CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, and even Kevontae Turpin, as well as Miles Sanders. You can look at these guys and argue this is a great skill set group. And Prescott has the ability to throw for $5,000 this year, if, given that he stays upright. Because I don't see anybody on any team that has a number two that can match up with George Pickens. And then you got CeeDee Lamb. So the only option that you can even throw up there is that you double cover CeeDee Lamb and go put your best corner one-on-one with George Pickens and hope Jake Ferguson doesn't tear you up, or Jalen Tolbert, or they don't bring in Javonte Turpin, or even bring Miles Sanders out of the backfield. So the truth of the matter is, the Dallas defense is not going to be so horrible. They don't get any stops. They're going to get some. Let's not forget you got Deron Bland as well as Trevon Diggs returning. However, you're not getting that pass rush. So you're going to see these guys get, you're going to see them get toasted a little bit. It would not surprise me if you see Dante Fowler and Donovan Ezaraku on opposite sides of each other just a little bit. So, yeah, Dallas is going to have to do a lot to manufacture pressure. I don't see any. Now, Kenny Clark could be a switch. You never know. He's not a bad player, but I just don't think at the end of it all, he was a guy that matched up to what the Dallas Cowboys wanted. Defensively, like I said, they're going to have to manufacture sacks, and Dak's going to have to score a lot of points. But then we look on the other side of the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that likes to slow the pace down and run at their own. And they've gotten a lot of disrespect given the fact that they are world champions. You got Jalen Hurts, who got disrespected by Cam Newton and so many others in the media, saying that he's a game manager. Well, I'll tell you what, if Bryce Young can be that kind of a game manager for my Carolina Panthers, I'll take it. Then, of course, you got the return of Saquon Barkley from his MVP caliber season, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, along with John Mechie III over from Houston. In return, of course, Dallas Goedert. And they did lose one or two guys on that offensive line. But to me right now, it's not anything that they can't overcome. This is an offense that plays within itself, but here's the reality. When they go in their little slumps or hibernation periods, as I call it, bird flying to the south, or when they decide to fly south, if you will. You got Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, gab out to you, Brad, Nolan Smith, and then, as I said before, they've basically got the Georgia Bulldog defense 2.0. So between that and you've got a ton of guys out there that they just fly all over the ball. Zach Bond, who they re-signed, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. This is a team that is loaded. So you not only have to be able to maneuver this defense, but you got to go through a point where you got to be able to stop that offense. If you're fortunate enough to get them on a downward slide, and I'm referring to the offense, you have to then be able to slow them down. Because when they get going, they get going. A lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you're just saying that's the easy pick. Well, you can't be feeling good if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. I know why Dak said what he said. Now, he's basically, in a nutshell, trying to get his guys refocused. Basically, in a nutshell, no slice and dice to Micah Parsons, but this is a business. They got a game to go play. And that's basically what he's doing. He's putting it out there saying that, hey, look, we still got a game to play. We got to go out there and handle our business. We've got the reigning division, conference, and Super Bowl champions inviting us into their building on opening night. So you ain't got time to lick your wounds and feel sorry for yourself. You got to get out here and you got to put up something. Jalen Hurts is not going to have any mercy. And I seriously doubt we'll see Super Bowl Jalen anytime soon. Because I think you're going to, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are going to be upset. But I think this is going to be a large dose of Saquon early in this season. And then it may take a game or two for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts to get back on that page. But I honestly think with this loaded backfield, you ain't going to have a choice but to run the football. You got Will Shipley and A.J. Dillon backing up Saquon Barkley.
Bruh.
As I said, they've got all the tools to go back to back. The only thing stopping the Eagles is what happened a couple years ago. Was themselves. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if we have a early season slump or a late season slump. It has happened with the Eagles. And for some reason they fly south. Whether it's they're still on vacation currently or whether they go on vacation mid-season. I've got this game going to the Eagles for the reasons that I said. The Eagles the Cowboys had trouble stopping the run last year, and that was with Micah Parsons. Kenny Clark might make somewhat of a difference, but I don't think it's going to be much. I think ultimately the Eagles are going to run the football. I think Hurts has a good game. I think Brown and Smith have, they're not going to be necessary. I think they may make throws just to make sure A.J. Brown ain't throwing a hissy fit, but I think this defense keeps them in it. Let me phrase that. I think this defense is able to slow down the Cowboys just enough for the Eagles to run the clock down. I think the time of possession is going to be massive for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to eat up on so much clock that you're going to see maybe 3, maybe 4 possessions a half for either team. I think that's what the Eagles are going to be shooting for. They're going to be shooting for 7-minute drives. The Cowboys are going to be trying to get as many possessions as they can, and I think it plays in favor of the Eagles. Now, maybe when it gets back to Arlington and Jerry's world, it might be different, but I don't see this going in any different than the way of the Eagles. I see, as I said, Saquon balling out. There's going to be a mistake in the secondary. I think there's going to be a mistake as many times as Dak has to throw the football. He's going to make a mistake, unfortunately, and it's probably going to cost them the game. And all that talk from Stephen A is going to start again about Dak, which I have a problem with because Dak doesn't deserve all of the issues that the Cowboys are having. And I don't think it's fair to him. And I know what y'all are going to say. They get paid good money, so that's what they signed up for. But let me know what you guys think about the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles opening the 2025 season tonight. And let me know your comments. What do you think? Of course, Brad, I know you're going to do that. I would like to hear from some of you other guys. Mario, I appreciate your comment, but like I said, please chime in when you can. Let me know what you think. Because, like I said, I appreciate the comment, but I got to disagree with you on that, bud. But yeah, the rest of you, please make sure you comment and let me know what you think from Eagle fans, Cowboy fans, Detroit fans, Buffalo fans. I see you, son. Baltimore, any of those, just let me know. But make sure you hit me up, not only in the comments, but make sure you hit me up on Facebook at the group, in the group and the page of the same name, Gridiron Gab Pro Style. Make sure if you want to keep up with me in season, go to my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo so you can catch up with my shenanigans during the season. But until the next time, same Gab channel, same Gab platform.
But behold, there is a warm breeze that comes from the west. The blazing sounds of victory fuel their everlasting quest. It is a call to arms. For they are here, an army that has the will to challenge and the will to dare.